Hi, thanks for joining us again for this video in the series Big Marketing for Small Business. I'm excited to be sharing some things with you today that are really going to revolutionize the way you approach your marketing plan. We've already talked about the awareness factor and the fact that we have to tell people who we are and what we do, and we have to do that in a way that highlights our business and what makes us a little different. Ultimately, it's your responsibility as the business owner or the gal in business. It is your responsibility to make sure that potential customers or potential clients know who you are, know what you do, and know what they can get from you. Think about it this way. You're probably solving a problem or filling a need, no matter what kind of product or service that you provide. So people need to know that. That needs to be something you become very, very aware of, and that you make it a very specific plan to go and tell people what you do. You can't afford to keep it a secret. In fact, people who come within 3 feet of you ought to know what you're about and ought to know what you're spending your time doing, whether it's telling them a product, whether it's suggesting something that can help fulfill a need for them. Regardless of what you do or what you have to offer, they need to know. And it may not be for them, but they don't know until they hear what you're doing. So don't keep it a secret. Get the word out. Remember, it's your job to find them. It's not their job to find you. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some key elements and key facets of marketing that you need to make sure that you have in your marketing plan, regardless of where you're choosing to market your business. Whether you're doing that online, in person, face-to-face, with mailers, you're doing ads on TV or ads on the radio, these elements all need to be present no matter how you're getting your marketing message out there. So if you don't already have a pen and paper handy, you might want to grab that because you're going to want to take some notes. Ultimately, when it comes down to marketing your business, I believe in a little bit of a different approach. I believe in sharing items of value with people, and you've heard me talk about this before, but marketing nowadays isn't about some flashy neon sign that tells people to come to you to get whatever it is that you have. It's mostly about creating relationships and giving information. It's about creating a value up front so that your customers or your potential clients are already going to know what they expect from you. They've already had a taste of that, and they're going to come and pay to get the whole feast. So your marketing needs to be authentic. You need to provide those items of value, those samples, those techniques, those tips, those tricks, whatever it is. Those particular items of value is what's going to solidify you among all the rest in your industry, and it's what will create those relationships with potential customers and potential clients. Remember, you have to be the one that's conveying the message. They're not going to come find you out. They're not going to do the research. They want to hear it from you. And the great thing is, it's your business. So who can tell the story better than you? Who can tell anyone about your product better than you? Who can sell them on the features and the benefits better than you? And when you're talking to your customers and when you're talking to those people who are interested, you're listening, you're engaged. You want to hear from them. You want to know what they need, and then you want to try to meet that need. That's creating a relationship right off the bat, and they haven't even laid down their credit card. That is fantastic. Let me give you a great example. You have signed up for this online course, which gives you some great information and some broad scopes when it comes to talking about marketing. Did you pay for the class? Absolutely not. This is a free online course, and I'm free to give this to you, and I'm excited to offer it to you because Revision is all about encouraging, empowering, and inspiring women to go after their dreams, to go after their future. And if this helps you, if you find value in this video series, then great. This is awesome because that's exactly what I want this to be about. If you visit our website and you read a blog post or an article or you watch an online video and you get some value from it, fantastic, because that's what it's there for. The great thing is that these are valuable items, valuable information that you're getting without even paying anything for it. Now, if what you're learning today, what you're learning in this video series means something to you, it resonates with you, it's making a difference for you, awesome. We want you to go further. And if you want to learn more and you want to go further and you want to sharpen your skills, then I encourage you to check out our coaching products, which are on our website, and we can take it a step further. But if nothing else, if you're a part of this video, hopefully you're getting some item of value, and that creates an opportunity for me to create a relationship with you, to share with you, to get to know you, and to fulfill that need that you might have when it comes to your marketing. Your goal is to figure out how you can do that in your particular industry as well. And through our coaching programs, we spend a lot of time talking about this, and we do a lot of market identification so that we know where you can spend your time and energy and what's really going to be the item of value that sets you apart. Ultimately, your number one skill as a small business, one of your most crucial skills, has to be marketing, because you can't afford to be a secret and you can't afford to be silent. So we're going to talk about these key elements. I hope you're ready to take some notes. The very first thing that you have to be just very aggressive about, and that you have to identify right off the bat, is that passion, that purpose. What is it that you're doing? You have something special to offer, whether it's you as a person or the product you're offering, or probably a combination of both. So that passionate story, that passionate purpose, the reason why you're doing what you're doing, has to be a part of what you do in business. It has to be a part of your marketing. No one wants to just buy something off the shelf that has no connection with them or doesn't do anything for them. People want to buy from people who, number one, are inspiring, number two, provide great products and services, and have some sort of connection with them. I will tell you that some of the products that I buy from small businesses, I buy because I love the business owner. Can I get a similar product from someone else? Probably. But I don't want to even try to do the research to find that something else, because ultimately I love that one particular business owner that I work with. I enjoy seeing her when I go into her shop. I enjoy telling other people about her products. And it's that kind of a relationship that you as a business owner can establish with your customers, even your potential customers, and that passion and your purpose and your excitement and enthusiasm for what you do will make all the difference in the world. Number two is persistence. If your marketing doesn't have a little bit of persistency in it, it's not going to have a lot of effect. The thing is that you will have people that will not like your product, that will not like your service. They will tell you it won't work, it's overpriced, it doesn't help them. You will have naysayers who tell you you can't make it in a competitive industry. All of those things stand in the way from you being great and from you being successful. And the God's honest truth is, probably most of it is not even true. You are great. You have a great product. And it doesn't matter if it's the number one product or not. Your persistence in marketing what you do and marketing who you are and marketing your passion and purpose is what will pay off in the end. It's usually the small businesses that give up when the going gets tough that really could have pushed a little bit farther and seen a lot more success. They usually quit right before their biggest breakthrough. Don't stop. Be persistent. Connect to that passionate purpose and don't give up, and make that a part of your marketing. Number three is focus. You cannot just go about marketing, and you cannot just go about your business willy-nilly with no plan and with no path to follow. Now, it's not about being perfect, and it's not about knowing from day one what you're going to do for the next 365 days or even beyond that. It's more about laying out a plan that you intend to follow, and also understanding that you can be somewhat flexible if things need to change a little bit along the way. But having a plan to step out on, having a plan to walk forward on, will give you a lot of focus. You need to know who it is that you're serving and what do you provide them. Who do you serve and what do you provide for them? Secondly, what is the model, the business model that you're going to follow? How do you intend to sell your product or sell your service? What product and service do you intend to sell? And how are you going to generate a revenue through your business? Because all the marketing in the world doesn't do us any good if we're not making money. And all the passion doesn't pay the bills. So you do need to know that you're making money and you have a plan for that revenue source when it comes in. The third thing when it comes to your focus is that you really want to know what your vision is going to be today, tomorrow, even 3 years from now. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect and it's not written in stone, but you need that path and that plan to walk forward on. If that seems a little overwhelming to you, I apologize, because it's not meant to be. It's meant to give you permission to dream and think big and to think outside of just your little box. And in our coaching program, especially in Refocus, our coaching program called Refocus, we spend a lot of time talking about goals and visions and developing that plan, not only for the business, but for you as the business owner and for your family and your personal life as well. Key number 4 is caring. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what your product is, it doesn't matter what you price it at, it doesn't matter how big of a building you stick it in. If customers don't know that you care, then they'll go somewhere else. Ultimately, there's probably not something brand new and revolutionary that you've come up with. It may be better, you may have tweaked it, you may have a new spin on it, but ultimately, skincare products are skincare products. Ultimately, clothing is clothing. Again, I've said before, there's only so many ways you can make a pair of pants, right? But yeah, you've probably tweaked that concept or you've come up with a new spin on that concept. But customers come to you because you care. Customers will stick with you because they know you care about them. You need to stand shoulder to shoulder next to them as a business friend. And when I mean a business friend, meaning that it's a business relationship, but that you create that caring aspect and that you listen and you're authentic in listening and you're authentic in wanting to fill the need and concern that they have. That open heart connection with them will bring them back over and over again. And you need to communicate that kind of a caring in your marketing messages. Key number 5 is your quality messages. Remember in some of the previous videos, we talked about developing messages that set you apart from the competition and identify you from the other companies or the other businesses that might be doing something similar. So those quality messages need time to be constructed. They need time to be written and thought out in a way that isn't thrown together at last minute. You want something that inspires customers to stick with you and really instructs potential customers to turn into paying customers. It's really not about perfecting the best slogan or the best web post or blog post. It's really more about the quality, and it's really more about the content that you're sharing, not necessarily that it's done perfection. And it's not expensive. It doesn't have to be costly. You're just wanting to communicate that in a way that actually has some quality in it. So put some thought behind your messages. Spend some time writing down those answers to the questions that we talked about before. What do you do that's different than other people in your field? And what sets you apart? What do you do better than anyone else in your field? What makes you unique? Why should someone come to you versus coming to someone else? And those are the messages. Those quality messages are what will set you apart and should be apparent in your marketing messages. The next key is consistency. Ultimately, marketing doesn't happen overnight. Your business doesn't happen overnight. You need to plan, you need to prepare, and you need to stick with the path. Consistency means so much when it comes to marketing. You can't throw in a newspaper ad today and be gone tomorrow. You can't put up a Facebook page and make a post once a month. You can't even do a blog post once a month. Consistency is crucial. Customers who are bombarded by all kinds of advertising, all kinds of marketing, all kinds of options, online, in person, in their mailbox, on their TV, they have lots of things to attract their attention. You have to compete with that. And the greatest way to do that is with consistency. You can't be seen as a flash in the pan, a one-time deal, a one-hit wonder. You have to have that consistency. Be present when you say you're going to be present. If you say you're going to do a blog post every Monday, then make sure you do that. If you've created a plan to create Facebook posts 3 times during the day, then make sure you're doing that. Consistency is the key. And my best advice to you is to create a social media calendar to where you can schedule those things and you know ahead of time the content that you need to be preparing in order to get that consistency there. Again, this is something we spend a lot of time developing and talking about in Refocus, but I want to give you that concept to start thinking about. And then maybe you can spend some time writing down the things that you need to work on or the concepts that you need to spend some time developing for your business. The next key is your numbers, and you got to know your numbers. Ultimately, knowing your transition between potential customer to paying customer is really key. How many people does it take to open up your newsletter before they become a buying customer or a reorder customer? How many people does it take for you to talk to before they're sold on your service? How many clicks does your website have to get in order for one person to become a buying customer online? These are really important numbers. Measuring those kinds of metrics lets you know how to spend your energy, how to spend your time, and where to focus your efforts. So let me give you a good example. I know when I send an email out, if 100 people get that email and 10 of them open it and read it and click on it and interact with that email, then there's a 10% transition rate, knowing that they transition from just getting the email to actually doing something with it. Now, of those 10 people, how many of those people become buyers? If I sent an email out today for Refocus, our coaching program, and I sent it to 100 people, 10 of those people opened it. How many of those 10 people actually put their credit card information in and pay for the program? Those numbers are important. If you find that the numbers are slacking or they are lagging or they're not where they should be, then you can make changes to your marketing plan in order to bump those numbers. But the measuring part of it is crucial, and you've got to know the metrics. Again, we touch on a lot of this when we're working in our coaching programs, and it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not a numbers person, but really is working backwards. If you're watching your metrics on your website and you know how many people are visiting, you should easily be able to calculate the amount of sales divided by the amount of clicks and know what that rate is of those customers turning into buying customers. If you are a nonprofit agency, how many presentations do you have to make in order to take a potential interested donor and getting them to commit with their checkbook? How many people have to come through a fundraiser event in order for you to raise X amount of dollars or to get X amount of pledges? It works no matter what business you're in or what industry you're in. If you do products or you do services, if you're retail or you're online, it doesn't matter. All businesses need to know that metric. All those businesses or any business needs to know those numbers and really help shape your marketing message and marketing plan around those numbers. The next key is integrity. All of the great packaging, all of the great advertising, all of the great websites, all the great Facebook posts mean nothing if customers can't trust you. And so integrity isn't necessarily about just being upfront and honest with your customers. It's also carrying through to the end of the transaction. I have a lot of small businesses that have this one area that tends to lack when it comes to integrity. And it isn't because they're not good people. It isn't because they're not honest people. It's because they don't think about the worst case scenario. So what happens is they put together an online business that sells a product, and they never consider the fact that they might have a customer who may take for granted their great products and their great service. They never think about the customer who wants to buy today and return tomorrow. That's really important to think about now. Your policies and procedures are super important to your business and need to be communicated consistently and effectively in your marketing. If you have a retail operation where you're working with other businesses, then your procedures and policies need to be in place. You don't want to make them up as you go. If those kinds of things continue to change from transaction to transaction, it will come across as if you're not professional. It'll also come across as if you don't know what you're doing, and customers will start to see that they can't trust what the outcome will be or what they can get from you because you won't have those procedures and policies in place. Customers need to know what they can get from you, what to expect when they get it from you, and what happens when their expectation isn't met. Spend some time thinking about your policies and procedures, where they're posted at, how they're communicated, and obviously if you're following through on that in a consistent manner. The next key is to learn to give and not get. Again, this is a trap that small businesses can fall into. We can tend to go one extreme to the other. So I have a lot of small businesses that want to give so much from their business that they don't make any money and they can bankrupt themselves. So doing items of value like this free video is great. It's something that I can give back to business women who may not have a readily available budget to spend on coaching. But if watching this video helps them launch their business or take it to the next level so that they can invest in themselves, fantastic. I love doing that, and I hope it really does that for them, and I hope it does for you. In turn, I also hope that it's just enough to help you see the importance of all of our other coaching products and that you'll join us on that journey and you'll be a part of some of the other great coaching products that we have to offer. But be careful. You can't give everything away for free, because then you'll be looking for the dollar and you'll resent the customers that have gotten something from you for free. You'll resent the special offers or promotions that you did put out there, and you'll be tempted to yank them off the table. And that brings us back to the integrity issue again. You can't start something and not finish it when you have a business. Customers want you to see it through to the end. So be careful about that. The other aspect when it comes to giving, not getting, is to be on the other end of the spectrum. Everything can't be about the dollar. Sometimes it's okay to skip over the dollar to take care of the customer. Sometimes you have to be mindful of the fact that, yes, today you may not have made as much money, but in the long run, you sold a customer for life. It's about giving back to the community, because in your community, those are the people that love and support you. Whether that's an online community, a retail community, or they're in your small town or in your big city, it doesn't matter. People recognize those who want to give back to the community. Don't focus on the dollar, but focus on how you can give and how you can take your business and be a platform. Let that be a platform for your opportunity to give back to those who need it. The next key excuse me, is education. Of course, I'm a big fan of coaching, because obviously I am a coach, but I also take time to be coached and to read materials that help build me as a business owner and build me as a business owner. I never stop learning. If there's an area of weakness in my business, I go and I look for a book to read, or I go to a seminar, or I'm a part of a conference, or I connect with master-minded people who can coach me in those areas of weakness. It's not that I have to be perfect at everything, but I want to be educated in all of those key areas. And so don't ever feel like you have to know it all, but always understand that learning is part of the process. So find a way to keep your mind engaged in your business. Whether it's reading a book on leadership, reading a book on accounting, reading something that helps you continue to think as a business-minded person, will keep your mind sharp and will keep your edge in the community or in the business world that you're in. The other thing I really want to encourage you when it comes to coaching is to stay connected into networked groups and community groups that can support you. And that's our next key, is networking. When it comes to marketing, networking is super important. Letting other business owners know what you do, letting other women know what you do is great. And if you can be a part of a networking group, whether that's face-to-face, whether that's a physical location where you get together and swap ideas, or whether you're doing that online, those things are so helpful. It helps you understand more about your business. You have people to bounce your ideas off of, and you can get the sense that you're not a lone ranger in the business world. When you are a part of our coaching products through Revision, we have a great community of people that we connect you to. I love talking to someone who has a specific area they're looking to fill or has a need that they want to have met, and I know someone who can do that. And I love looking at them and saying, you should call this girl. Let me Facebook friend you. Let me share your information. I love doing that, and I love seeing women work with other women to support each other and grow their endeavors. So networking definitely has to be a part of your marketing goal.